A top Texas Treasury official has been charged with stealing funds from a federal credit union to pay off his dominatrix. The treasurer admitted to authorities that he began wiring payments to the dominatrix after she threatened to tell his wife about their submissive affair. His hopes were that the payments would keep the relationship a secret, but instead it has major blow up in a very, very major public scandal. Joining me to talk about that is Molly Barrows, legal journalist for Trial Lawyer magazine. You know why this is a story? It's a story because we're seeing it constantly.
You're right.
It's a story because I'm wondering, does it all flow from the top?
I know.
You know,
does he too have Cohen as an attorney?
Who knows? Who knows? What is the story behind these charges? And really, we are seeing this almost every week. Some interesting.
Somebody's in trouble for making mistakes along the same lines, aren't they, over and over again. And this guy is no different. 56-year-old Gregory Lueb. He's second in command of the Harris County Treasurer's Office. Basically, he had access to like $3 billion worth of county employees' money, but that's not what he was playing with here or is accused of playing with. He's accused of stealing, basically opening up 2 credit card lines or accessing 2 credit card lines to accounts through the local credit union, borrowing, taking advanced line of credit, using another account to pay those off, and then it would open up more line of credit. So he was supposedly using this to pay off credit card debt and also to pay off this dominatrix, Mistress Cindy, who he met on a sadomasochistic online chat room, as you will.
Yeah.
And so he said she was just demanding this money, and by golly, sometimes it's better just to say, I stole.
Right.
You know?
There's another part of the story that I think is an interesting part of the story, and that is the way that it's not just local government, it is government in general, where we have this pecking order. Okay, so Billy Bob stays there long enough, so we're going to make Billy Bob in charge of something big. This story has that written all over it because, you know, Billy Bob here kind of comes up through the system. He does a lot of political favors. And it's almost kind of a third world attitude about who we put there.
Is even competent to do the job?
Yeah, we see it in stories all over. And that's always part of a story like this. And that is that Billy Bob has just come through the system. He's stayed there long enough. He's developed friends there long enough. And now he's in charge of all this money. Harris County's DA says there's no doubt that he stole from the county, but his former boss says, well, I don't, and this is what I'm talking about. His former boss says, I don't see any signs of embezzlement. What's your take on that?
Yes. Well, like you said, he had access to all this county money, and he wasn't necessarily stealing from Peter to pay Paul within these particular accounts, but he still had access to these 2 accounts at this credit union, and that was county money. So even though technically there was no particular taxpayer citizen that you could point to and say that he embezzled from them, he did open these lines of credit, and the money that was used, you know, to play this shell game or check kiting, as they call it, was county employee money. And so that's essentially why they're not really looking into this blackmail angle of him saying, Mistress Cindy made me do it, or I did it because she was threatening to tell my wife. Yeah. They're saying, well, whether or not Mistress Cindy even exists is a moot point because we have proof that you're stealing, and we know that you went through this credit union, and that's county money. So, you know, his boss can defend him all he wants and technically say it's not embezzlement, but he's a thief, admitted thief. He does admit that he took this money. He just says he did it because he was worried that his wife would know because Mistress Cindy was going to tell.
No charges against the dominatrix.
They don't even know if she's real, and they're not even worried about finding out.
My call is there's no charges. Molly Barrows, thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Pat.